Today, I'm reviewing the ddHifi Surface IEM monitors. These have 5 drivers per side. Let's get it. What's cracking, audio fans? It's David here from Prime Audio Reviews. Waifu! That's the box. Sneak preview of the graph there. Let's have a look at the IEMs. Boom! There they are. So the price of the Surface here is $279 US. Now inside of here, in each earpiece, that is per side, we've got 1 dynamic driver and 4 balanced armatures. And as you can see, we've got these lovely transparent shells giving you a look of the balanced armature drivers there and the dynamic driver. Really, really lovely build quality. By the way, this is made in conjunction with Moondrop, which I know most of you will be familiar with. So it's a ddHifi x Moondrop collaboration project. And I gotta say, right out of the box, I love these shells. This is definitely the best shell I've seen from ddHifi so far. Not only do they look cool, but they're very comfortable as well. Anyway, let's get on with the review. Included with the IEMs is the lovely ddHifi plastic storage case or carrying case, just like that. There are a few ear tips inside. They're good quality ear tips, but they're tiny. They're for little pygmy ears, and I have man-size ears. Come on, ddHifi, give me some ear tips. Now with that out of my system, let's have a look at the cable, and oh boy, chunky is the word of the day here. This is one thick boy cable, and I'm generally a fan of thick chunky cables, but this one it's like so extreme, it's almost too much even for me. It is a little bit stiff. I'll try to show you what I mean. It handles okay, but it doesn't drape that well. It's not supple enough, in my opinion. Apart from that though, it's a lovely high quality cable. But let's dive right into the sound. By the way, these have a 3-way crossover, and we've got a 3-bore nozzle there as well. So we've got nice separation between each audio channel or each driver channel. These are super easy to drive as well. They've got an impedance of 15 ohms and a sensitivity of 118 dB. So you can plug these into just about anything, but they do scale a bit with gear, so it's good. It's a good idea to plug them in with a higher quality audio source. Something like a decent dongle DAC will do the trick. In terms of sound signature, we've got a lovely, warm, full-bodied sound, very easygoing. It's kind of laid back, but still has ample energy. Let's have a look at the graph now, and that's what it looks like. The red line you're looking at is the ddHifi Surface, and the dotted line is the Harman 2019 in-ear Target. So you can see it is somewhat Harman Target based. However, it does have more body in the upper bass and lower mid-range, and a bit more roll-off in the treble. So let's talk about the bass first of all. The bass is taken care of by that dynamic driver, so you know it's got some good punch and drive and impact, and yeah, it's a little bit less in sub bass than the Harman Target, but that is sort of compensated by having a fuller mid bass, and basically that means you get nice punchy kick drums, and bass guitars have got nice presence and plenty of body. That warmth also carries over into the lower mid-range, so you've got nice rich male vocals, great for string instruments, acoustic guitars and everything. They have a nice organic tone to them. Vocals are very smooth and sultry. They are not super articulate, however there is ample clarity there. That's not an issue. But for the most part, it's a somewhat laid back kind of tuning that is just, you can turn the music up loud without any fear of sort of harshness or sharpness in the treble or the mid-range. It's the kind of IEM that you can just comfortably listen to all day long, so these are great for a daily driver. In terms of the upper mid-range and the treble, there is enough presence region to sort of give vocals and instruments a bit of a lift, but it falls off fairly quickly. So this isn't the most detailed set, but the detail is ample. I would say it's sufficient, and kind of what you can expect for this price range. The treble extension is good, but it doesn't really have any sparkle. However, it does provide enough air to prevent the sound from being congested or dark. But if you're a treble head and you're looking for really crisp and precise highs, then you'll probably want to consider some alternative. But if you love smooth treble, then these are should be your go-to. And overall, they just have a really organic, easygoing, cohesive sound, a very natural tonality, good timbre throughout. They don't really excel in any particular area, but they don't really do anything wrong at the same time, if you know what I mean. In terms of soundstage, it is not particularly wide, but it does have a nice rounded sort of shape effect. And again, that plays into this natural feeling that you get. Imaging is quite good. It is not the most precise out there. Like I said, there isn't a whole lot of width in the stage, but the positioning, then the placement within the space that these create is pretty pinpoint and accurate. And now I'm going to do a quick little comparison with the Moondrop Blessing 3, and you can see they have both have transparent or clear shells, really nice. However, the Blessing 3 has these silly polished faceplates, and I say silly because they just get scratched up so easily and they get covered with fingerprints. And I've been sort of treating the surface really roughly, and you'd never know because they look mint, they look perfect. Whereas the Blessing 3, I can see from here it's all scratched up and it's just not very nice. But not to get sidetracked from the sound, so let's talk about that. The Blessing 3 has a more traditional Harman curve to it. It does have a bit more sub-bass extension and impact. Remember, well, I haven't mentioned it, but the Moondrop Blessing 3 is a 6-driver IEM. It's got 2 dynamics and 4 balanced armatures, and you can hear the extra impact of those dual dynamic drivers in the bass. However, in the sub-bass, however, in the mid and upper bass, the Surface actually has more presence there, whereas the Blessing 3 has a bit of that old traditional scoop, going more towards that Moondrop VDSF target. The Blessing 3 is a little more subdued in the presence region. That's like the 2 to 4 kilohertz region, so vocals don't pop maybe quite as much as they do on the Surface. However, the Blessing 3 does have better treble extension and a more forward treble in terms of, related to the rest of the mix. However, surprisingly, I'd say the ddHifi Surface has slightly better detail retrieval, whereas the Moondrop Blessing 3, it does miss quite a bit of micro details. But at the end of the day, these are both reasonably similar when it comes to sound signature and tuning. But it's worth pointing out, I haven't checked recently, but when I reviewed the Blessing 3, the price was $320. Compared to the Surface, which, what did I say, $279. So that's a pretty good saving. I would actually, if I were buying either of these, I would probably lean toward the Surface for that extra saving and for the fact that these faceplates are really durable and they're not going to get scratched up like these silly ones here do. But that's enough rambling from me. That is the ddHifi Surface. I think these are good. Look, they're not the most high fidelity, most revealing, transparent or neutral IEMs, but if you're looking for something with a really nice, inviting tonality, something that's good for a daily driver, plenty of bass impact, nice, rich, but fairly articulate mid-range, and a smooth but detailed enough treble, then check these out. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, Pa Family Audiophile style. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button before you go. And until next time, I'll see you later.